Let's begin by learning how an indefinite integral is defined and walk through some formulas that you'll need to know. An indefinite integral is essentially the same as the antiderivative of a function. The indefinite integral is the integral of little f of x dx, and it's equal to capital F of x plus c, where f prime of x is just little f of x. Let's now see how this relates to antiderivatives. The function capital F of x plus c is the indefinite integral of little f of x. Capital F of x is an antiderivative of little f of x. Without the c, it's just one of many antiderivatives of little f of x. And then capital F of x plus c is the same as the indefinite integral of little f of x, and it's the general antiderivative of little f of x. So the general antiderivative of little f of x is the same thing as the indefinite integral of little f of x. Let's now walk through some basic integration formulas that you're going to need to know. We'll begin with some general integral formulas. When you integrate a constant times a function, you can just take that constant out in front and then just integrate the function. If you have the integral of one function plus or minus another function, you can integrate both of those functions separately and then just add or subtract them. These next two formulas are things that you need to make sure not to do. If you have the integral of one function times another function, you can't split that integral up and integrate the two functions separately. Similar to this, if you have one function divided by another function, you can't split this integration up and integrate one function and then divide it by the integral of the other function. The next set of formulas that you need to know, I've categorized into what I call algebraic integral formulas. The integral of a constant k is just k times x plus c. The integral of x raised to a number is just x raised to that number plus 1 divided by the number plus 1 plus c. This formula only works if n is not equal to negative 1. If n is equal to negative 1, then you have the integral of 1 over x, and that has a special formula, and it is the natural log of the absolute value of x plus c. The next set of integration formulas are the exponential integral formulas. The integral of e to the x is just e to the x plus c. The integral of b to the x is really similar, except it's b to the x divided by the natural log of b plus c. Now this brings us to trigonometric integral formulas. On the left, we have the integral of sine, secant squared, and secant tangent. And then on the right are the co-functions cosine, cosecant squared, and cosecant x cotangent x. The formulas on each side are really similar, and that should help you memorize these. The last set of formulas that I've included here are inverse trigonometric integral formulas. These are probably the hardest to memorize and might take some practice, and they're the integrals for inverse sine, inverse tangent, and inverse secant. Inverse sine and inverse tangent are usually more common than the inverse secant function.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.